Welcome to PMP Exam Mindset, Day 27, the Process Domain and Task 13. It's a pleasure to have you here today. I hope you're enjoying this series. If you have been getting value, do smash the like button and let's jump straight in. Charles Dickens says, methods are the masters of masters. And in this task, the method you use is the key to mastery in project management on that particular project. And it says determine appropriate project methodology, methods, and practices. Why is this so important? It is very important because if you are using the wrong approach to manage a project, you are likely to fail or find it extremely difficult. In our book, PMP Exam Immersion, we explore the selection of appropriate project methodologies and practices, emphasizing the need to align them with project goals. You shouldn't use traditional for everything or agile for everything. You could use a hybrid. So the idea is to understand the context of the project, the goals, the team, the dynamics, and the organizational context, and then you can properly choose. In today's session, we're going to be talking about this, the Stacy model. You can see in the Stacy model, we have two axes. We have the y-axis, which is all about scope, and then we have the x-axis, which is all about the technicality. There is a place to be in the agile realm, which will be when you are tending towards complexity and even towards anarchy. You got to be agile and bring things down to an incremental and iterative approach. Now, if you're all the way down at the bottom left in the simple zone, it's okay to use a traditional approach or a predictive approach. So you need to pick the process based on your project and stick with the process. Otherwise, you could potentially cause many swirls, a lot of change in the team, and people doing the work will not be happy. Always get the team into a room and get on the same page with the method to be used, whether it is predictive, whether it is agile or hybrid. Agile methods are chosen based on their suitability to project requirements and team structure. Key considerations include the level of change anticipated, the complexity of the project, as I showed you in the Stacy model, and the need for customer involvement. With that said, let's move on to our true or false questions for the day. True or false? One project methodology fits all types of projects in Agile. And of course, the answer is false because we have various Agile approaches, various frameworks. Scrum and Kanban are just a couple of them. Number 2, true or false? The complexity of the project is not a factor in selecting an Agile methodology. Of course, you know this is false. Project complexity is a significant factor. Highly complex projects with evolving requirements often benefit from adaptive Agile methodologies, while less complex or more predictable projects might use a lighter Agile approach or even a hybrid model. True or false? Customer involvement is a critical consideration in choosing an Agile methodology. And the answer to this is, of course, true. In order for you to roll in the world of Agile, you must be in constant touch with the customer. It's a critical consideration. Methodologies that emphasize continuous customer collaboration, like Scrum, are well suited when frequent feedback and evolving requirements are expected, ensuring the product aligns closely with the customer needs. Number 4, true or false? Agile methodologies are rigid and cannot be tailored to specific project needs. That would be an oxymoron, wouldn't it? So it's false. Agile methodologies are frameworks that are meant to be tailored and adapted to specific project needs and organizational context. The principle is to find what works best for the team and the project rather than rigidly adhering to a prescribed set of rules. Number 5, true or false? Team dynamics should be considered when selecting a project methodology in Agile. Well, of course you should. Team dynamics include team size, experience with Agile, self-organization, maturity, and communication styles. These are all important factors. A methodology should support and enhance the team's ability to work effectively together. Now that we're done taking a look at all of the true or false and the overview for today, let's move into our question of the day, and it reads, the project involves developing a new product with highly uncertain requirements and a rapidly evolving market, but also includes integrating with a legacy system that has fixed, well-defined interfaces. The organization is new to Agile but values rapid feedback. What is the project manager's best recommendation for the project methodology, methods, and practices? Is it A, a purely predictive waterfall approach to ensure strict control over the legacy system integration and minimize risk in new product development? Is it B, a purely agile Scrum approach to maximize adaptability to evolving market requirements and leverage rapid feedback cycles, accepting potential integration challenges? Is it C, a hybrid approach utilizing Agile for the new product development with iterative cycles and continuous feedback, while employing a predictive approach for legacy system integration with clear interface agreements? Or is it D, a phased approach where legacy system integration is completed first using a predictive model, followed by the new product development using an agile model in a sequential manner? I'll give you some time to think about this answer. All right, my friends, let's examine what the potential answer could be. Now, in questions like this, you need to understand the technology at play. You're developing a new product. It has highly uncertain requirements, so an agile approach will likely work well for that. But it also includes integrating with a legacy system that has fixed, well-defined interfaces. The organization is new to Agile, but values rapid feedback. With that in mind, you know that A will be outrightly wrong to use a predictive, purely waterfall approach. That would not make sense because you have a new product. So, the fact you have a new product means you need to think some Agile. Now, in the world of Agile, you should understand that phases generally are not used. D would be one of those, I suspect something kind of options, because it says a phased approach where the legacy system integration is completed first. You don't integrate first. You have to develop your new product first, and then you integrate. So the timing and the sequence of D is off. Not to mention the fact that in the world of Agile, we have iterations, not phases. So let's disqualify A and let's disqualify D. Taking a look at B, a purely Scrum approach wouldn't make sense because you're working with a legacy system which has a more rigid, defined interface. Whatever you do, it is sounding like you do need some sort of hybridization. So we cannot use a purely agile approach. It wouldn't make sense. A hybrid approach, option C, is the best answer. And here's the rationale. For projects with both high uncertainty, new product, and stable, well-defined components, legacy integration. A hybrid approach is often best. Option C leverages the strengths of Agile for adaptability and rapid feedback in new development, while using a predictive approach for the stable integration, ensuring controlled and efficient execution for each distinct component. So when you are thinking like this, my friend, as you get into the exam and you have questions that test your Agile, hybrid, and predictive understanding, you will choose the right option. Let's move on to our next image to look at here. The idea here is to understand if you are in a place of anarchy, don't leave things in the anarchy zone. Bring them down into the realm of at least complex by breaking them down into smaller iterative chunks. In other words, you need to go from here, bring things down to here. You got to think about iterative and incremental. Do things in iterations, deliver incrementally, and anarchy will be reduced. You do not want to stay in anarchy zone. When you are choosing a method to use, also remember that on this axis, you have the requirements, right? On this axis, you have the technicality. If you are close to agreement on the requirements and the scope, and close to certainty on the technicality and how to execute the project, then you're in the simple zone. And it's okay to be traditional in the simple zone. Now, as you move away from close to agreement to further from agreement in terms of the requirements and further from certainty in terms of the tech, you're going to get into more complicated zone. Complicated just means there are many moving parts, but it can still be governed by a largely predictive approach. Imagine assembling a watch. Yes, there are many parts, but if you follow one by one, step by step, you will get to the point where you assemble the watch. Now, on the flip side, complex is like going to a place you've never been before. There is a lot of uncertainty in it. There's not a predictable roadmap. And therefore, in this world of the PMP exam, both are important. Both understanding what it means when we say complex, what it means when we say complicated. Taking a look over here in the 13th task under the process domain, number 1 is assess the project needs. How complex is it? How big is it? Then you recommend the project execution strategy. You recommend a project approach, predictive, agile, or hybrid, and you could use iterative incremental practices throughout the life cycle if possible, having retrospectives, lessons learned, stakeholder engagement, but all of these done in iterations. Remember, you also have the PMP exam content outline, which echoes exactly the same points I showed you. It is important before your PMP exam that you really are solid with the outline, understanding every bullet you look at. If you do not understand what you're reading, you are not on the right path to your PMP exam success. You must understand every single one of these tasks. What are they saying? What are they saying from a people perspective? Even though this is in the process domain, I would still ask the question, when I'm determining the appropriate project methodology, the methods and the practices, who needs to be in the room? Who are the stakeholders involved? Who makes a judgment call about which ultimate approach to use? You should be able to rationalize these points and speak to them. And of course, the answer will be it depends on the organization, but you should have a picture of how that works in a project-oriented firm and in a more functional firm. What about a matrix firm? You got to understand all of these points, my friends, which is why over the past number of weeks, we have been going through the entire thing. We started off with the people domain, but I quickly got feedback from a lot of you that the people domain is not your main issue. For most students getting ready for the PMP, what I keep hearing from those who haven't and those who have taken the exam is that process is a wild, hairy beast, a big, hairy, audacious goal that needs to be tamed. And for that reason, we've been combing through task 1 all the way to where we are today. So we are on task 13. This goes to task 17. When we get to task 17, we will return to the people domain and clean up whatever we need to. Also remember that the business domain has received a lot of complaints. People feel they don't understand the business environment enough. And that's why way early in this process, I covered all 4 business domain tasks. I hope you're finding value from this, my friends. Smash the like button, put it on your social, share it with someone. This is great information for those who are struggling with the exam, because day by day we're covering task by task. And be rest assured, this is what is on your PMP exam. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. You take care, and bye for now.